So, how many of you are going through a bit of a rough time with your SP manifestation? Has it been taking too long? Are you starting to lose a bit of faith and hope? Is there insecurities that you had relating to your SP? Maybe you got them back and maybe the pattern repeated again and you lost them, or it's just this bit of a limbo. You don't know what to do with yourself. You're really stressing out. Maybe you just need a bit of a boost. Well, you've come to the right place. This is the Wish Fulfilled Friday, my section of my channel that is dedicated to your incredible, amazing success stories, no matter what you have manifested and no matter when you did it. Some of these stories that I share are from clients, people who I have worked with. Some of them are people who have just watched this channel that just wanted to share their success story, put it to the test, the stuff that I've been teaching, and have achieved amazing, amazing results. And some of you manifested your successes before you even knew about the law, of course, because you all did, because you're all walking success stories. And here we're dedicated to getting you in the mindset of success so that you can achieve all your desires effortlessly and effectively, because you're all master manifestors. And I've been manifesting success for all of you, and that's why I'm getting inundated. That's why I don't know if we've reached that, but I would like to. My goal would be to have the greatest community of success stories, and that's why I'm just bringing them all in, because it doesn't matter where you got your success from, if it was before the law, after the law, through coaching, or on your own. It doesn't matter. You're a success, and your story could really go a long way to helping other people's out. I know my client in particular has done incredibly well. I know she went through a long and arduous journey. It was difficult. There were some bumps in the road. It's taken over 2 years. There's an age gap situation as well. And I know that there's a few ladies out there who are, well, the older party of this pairing. And I know I'm always in age gap relationships. So maybe that's what I've been manifesting, more clients with the same. But of course, if we have any insecurity, we will hone in. If we are insecure in relationships, in ourselves, it's quite natural that we'll hone in on absolutely anything. If it's not the age gap, then it's going to be the culture differences, or I don't know, distance, or we'll find something. We'll always find something. And that's the thing. That's why our assumptions and our state of being is so key to manifesting success. So if you're ready to sit down and spend some time with me and find out how she did it, because she shares a lot of detail on how she did it, then sit back and relax, and I'll share all with you here. First up, I just want to thank all of you for joining me. I'm Athena Raven, and I'm a mental health and manifestation life coach, here to empower and inspire you on this often turbulent manifestation journey. So if you're enjoying the content and you're finding this helpful, then I really appreciate you just taking the moment to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Click that bell icon as well so you never miss a beat. I'm posting out content at least twice a week. There's going to be more hypnosis audios helping you to shift state and to achieve any goal that you desire. There's going to be more of your incredible success stories to keep you inspired, and more information about the law in a realistic, mindful way based on 20 odd years of experience, guys. It's truly important. So let's get this show on the road, shall we? Hun, if you are watching, which I assume that you are, I have told her that I'll be posting this up today. She said that she would make herself known. So I've asked her to comment below, and I'm going to pin her comments that you guys can, message her, whatever, hi, congratulations, support, or if you have any questions and she's got the time to respond, then, but she has actually spent a lot of time on this story, and I believe she started writing her success story to me before she even finished her journey. So that's what I call dedication to the assumption. That's what I call faith right there. And I know a few of you have been doing that, so it's truly incredible. This girl has done incredibly well. So her story is talking about not only the success of the SP, but health, money as well. So it's a really robust story. Like I said, the principles, the fundamentals are all exactly the same, no matter what you're manifesting. And don't be put off. Hopefully when you hear about this, you're not going to be so worried about time passing. This means it's less likely to happen, or it means it's not working. As I've said to you, it's not a measure of whether or not you're successful or going to be successful in this. Okay, so sit back, relax, get yourself a hot drink or a cold drink if it happens to be a warm day. And let's see how she did this. So I've posted this up on my website for all of you who want to read it in your own time. Same with all of your success stories, because I won't get to read every single success story that I receive, but I'll do my very best to include as many as I can on this channel. But they're all going to be on the website, so check them out there. So here we go. So she has written, I always knew I would be writing this. So sure, in fact, I'm starting to write this in the midst of everything unfolding because I'm so sure of how it will all end up this time. And I'm not even done. Strap in, get your popcorn. This is a long story, 2+ years in the making, about manifesting love, money, and good health. I was single for about 10 years, and I just didn't even try to date. When I finally decided it was time, I recalled visualization exercises I learnt before that seemed to work for my friends, and I decided to make a list of all the qualities I was looking for in a mate. Does this sound familiar? Making the list of your perfect qualities of a mate. A lot of you are doing this lately. So I love it. I focused on values that we should share and not so much on what he looked like, only saying I must be sexually attracted to him. I used to write letters to my soulmate as if I already knew him on a soul level. We just needed to meet physically. I remember writing, "You need to come find me. These men out here are crazy." The men out where are crazy. I love that. You need to come find me. So he found me on a dating site and sent me a nice, witty opening message. I saw it, but his age caused me pause because he was significantly younger than I wanted to date. I did like how he made an effort to message me and not just an empty "you've matched" alert where one of us still had to make the first contact. I appreciated his proactiveness, and I decided it wouldn't hurt to just meet for an afternoon date. From his side, he said the minute he saw my profile, he said to himself, "That's her." As in, he found the woman of his dreams. When he first saw me, he held me so tight. We were old friends that hadn't seen each other in a long time, and it felt so familiar to me. That first date was amazing, and instead of the 2 hours I'd initially allocated, it turned into 12 hours of really getting to know each other, although it felt more like catching up. At one point, I turned to him and I said, "You found me." Everything progressed so fast, and we both felt it, and we were confessing our love 2 months in. We both felt like we had found our soulmate, and everything felt perfect and at peace with us. Too perfect, so I was thinking. This is where my thoughts started to go and creating my belief that this isn't real and something must be wrong with him. I would find myself second guessing and having to check in with friends and family if I'm making a mistake. Their responses were split, so I was still confused. There was an additional obstacle, if you choose to see it as such, but we lived in different states. I didn't trust myself in love situations at the time, so I relied on my friends' and family's opinions on what to do. My friends would say, "Just have fun, but don't expect him to get serious with you." I believed them. I told SP this, and even told him I have not stopped dating other men, so I'd understand if he wanted to also date other women. Oh my God, girl, I don't remember this bit. He told me he didn't want to, and that he's a monogamous person. I told him I couldn't be monogamous, not right now whilst we live in different states, and he said he would never try to change me. We were both lying to each other and ourselves. We both wanted to be in a relationship with each other, but neither of us was saying it out of fear. Meanwhile, we were both so in love and acting like we'd been together for years, going on trips and pretending to be married. It felt so perfect. And one day I said to him, "We have such a great love story, so when is something going to go wrong? There's always a conflict, and I wonder what ours will be." Oh, my goodness. No, no. Oh, how I wish I knew then what I know now about manifestation. As you can guess, I wound up manifesting a third party for him. Hey, I wanted conflict, I got conflict. His ex came back, and he felt he owed it to himself to give things another try since I wasn't serious anyway. He let me know, and I was devastated. His last text message to me was to say he found his person and goodbye. Deep inside, I didn't actually believe him, but I forced myself to be saying, why would he lie about something like this? He then proceeded to block me on everything. I cried every day for a month. For months, I tried to get over him. I kept getting these TikTok videos about get your ex back, but I would scroll past because I didn't believe them. I never believed in taking an ex back, and I never chased men. I was stubbornly trying to forget him. But then one day, one of those coaches came upon my For You page that made Law of Assumption sound digestible. She was talking about changing ourselves and our self concept, and that was something I could vibe with her. Her content was easy to follow, and it gave me a nice introduction to the law of assumption. I started to work on my self concept, and one day finally, I found myself at peace with my SP. I actually felt whatever happens, happens, but I'm going to be happy regardless. I remember thinking he made a mistake going back to her, but that's his problem, not mine. I'm worthy of love and I'm hard to let go of. I will find love. Meanwhile, I started to manifest other things in my life: free stuff, money, good health. I got COVID and I kept saying, it's fine, my body is strong and we'll fight it. I only had symptoms for one day, and even those were light. It felt more like allergies. No long-term issues either. There was a song I found that has lyrics: every little cell in my body is healthy, every little cell in my body is well, that I'd sing and dance to around the house. For money, I was budgeting and I noticed that I was going to fall short. I said, it's fine, it will all work out. I'll find the money. And then, out of the blue, an old co-worker from 8 years prior reached out with an opportunity for a short-term contract to make the money I needed. Also, when that contract ended, another contractor told me they weren't paying him because they weren't happy with the work. He was upset, but I didn't let it upset me. I said, that's not going to happen to me. I'll get paid, and so I will. Oh, and so will he. Sorry. And so will he. I just said it and I forgot it, and we both got paid. I was still manifesting love when I feel every single ex starting to make contact. Every single one. How many of you are going through this? Actually, so many of you have told me that everyone else is coming back. All these exes are coming back. See, it's very, very commonplace. But she said every single one came back, except a narcissist, except a narcissistic, except a narcissist who I blocked on everything. But he may be the unknown number who's been texting me, hey, how have you been? Because that's how he would message me on every new messaging app I'd install before blocking him. So yeah, even him. This was increasing my confidence, but I'd still have my low points and I wanted to give up, but I couldn't let myself. I remember my friend very randomly invited me to a concert with a band from the 90s that I'd never heard of. Whilst I was there, I suddenly got a vision of SP next to me, also enjoying the show. It felt good. I enjoyed the moment, but I didn't think too much more about it, and I continued to enjoy the show. At this point, it had been 6 months since SP and I broke up, and the last time that we talked. I got home feeling good from a night out, and I went to sleep peacefully. This was such a relief, because for weeks, thoughts of him ruled my mind, and it was driving me insane to the point I'm screaming at my brain to please stop. But tonight, I felt peace for the first time in a while. At 5 a.m., I was awakened by a phone call. It was SP. He did most of the talking, but it was how he felt he'd made a mistake and he never wanted to let me go. He said he thought of me the night before and got a strong urge that he must call me. He wanted us to work if I would give him a chance. We talked all night, but here's the weird coincidence. That random band for the 90s that I saw the night before, well, it turns out it was his favorite band. When I saw him next to me the night before, he was thinking about me. He also said he was manifesting me. We continued to talk daily after that, for hours each day. But here's where I think I messed up. I kept bringing in the old story. I even wrote things down to bring up for our next phone conversation. I had us reliving and hashing out the old story as I sat on my victim throne. I like that, victim throne, demanding answers. Every single day for a week. Well, guess what happened at the end of that week? The old story played out again. Third party came back. We stopped talking and I was reblocked. I was devastated all over again. And if that wasn't enough, after what happened, my mum called to tell me she had cancer, so I was a mess emotionally. It just so happened that I already signed up for a course with a coach that claimed that we would manifest anything in 30 days by the end of the course. I believed her. And why not? I thought I've manifested quickly before. I was focused more on finding love in general and my mother's health. I never really brought the I never really bought into the get your ex back craze, and I've never returned to an ex before. I believe in only wanting who wants me and manifesting that person into my life. I believe that's also part of living in the end. You have to believe that person is for you and you are meant to be together. If you don't, then you aren't. Then you aren't. I'll just cut to the end of that part of the story. There was no love at the end of 30 days, and my mum was not getting any better. Then this coach tried to milk us for more money for a Q&A session. We realized we were dealing with a con artist. Is it possible to manifest in 30 days? Sure, but this coach presented it as a guarantee, and so I felt like I failed. Then she tried to sell her private coaching sessions to continue the work for a ridiculously high amount, because if we didn't manifest in 30 days, we just weren't doing the work. So pay her thousands of dollars so that she can show you how. My goodness. I remember you guys actually telling me about this. One of the other members of the course started a private group chat with most of the students who felt the same. We created a support group to save each other and others from scams in the community, while simultaneously supporting each other in our manifestation journey. We shared content from our favorite coaches and opinions on different coaches. We attended the lives together of some of our favorites. Then one day, one of our members found Athena Raven. We were all smitten with her and she became a favorite in the group. I love you guys. When one member took coaching with her, she raved about the results, so I decided to sign up too. I came to Athena both to manifest love and my mother's health. It felt like an obligation as her oldest daughter. If I have this power to manifest my ideal reality, why wouldn't I use it to help my mum? However, I never seemed to separate it from finding love too. In my imaginal acts, I would see my mother at my wedding. I would see my husband interacting with my mum. In retrospect, I was probably forcing it. Athena even called that out. Why do I keep trying to manifest my mum's health with manifesting love? In my head, I was threatening the universe. If you take my mum, I will refuse to be with anyone. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but this was the strong belief I had at the time. I was being stubborn, thinking I could do to the universe what I would do to my mum to get my own way. My mum always wanted me to be happy, so if I threatened my own happiness, she would do as I want. Again, it doesn't make sense, but it worked with my mum, and so I subconsciously thought it would work with the universe. The truth is, I still don't have clear answers on how the law of assumption works when it comes to keeping others alive, but that could be a topic for another day, as I'm sure that there are layers to it. This is supposed to be a success story. I feel quite emotional reading this because I was with her obviously through this. So anyway, to bridge this part of the story, my mother loses her battle with cancer. Gosh, so sorry. I'm devastated and quite frankly pissed off. I think the reason this is also getting to me is because, and I'm sorry to take a segue from this, but when it comes to manifesting health for others, see, what I've always believed is that we have a time to come into this world and we have a time to go. And though we can absolutely manifest good health, I believe also when it is our time to go into the next realm, it is our time. I think Neville even struggled as well to save his nephew from cancer. And I the reason this has hit me is because I struggled as well to save a friend of mine last year from depression. So I just want to say to you guys, if you're going through the same, and this is supposed to be a wish fulfilled Friday, and this has just hit me, but if you're going through the same, please don't give yourself a hard time. Doesn't matter how seasoned a manifester you are. If it's time for them to move on, it's time for them to move on. And I did imagine my friend well and free, and I'm sure you, Hunt, as well. You imagined your mother free and well. And you know what? Who's to say that that's not what's happened? Okay, it's not happened that they're here in this realm free and well, but you see what I'm saying? So back to going on to the success story. So anyway, this to bridge this part of the story, my mother loses her battle with cancer. I'm devastated and quite frankly pissed off. Although angry, I decide to focus on my healing. In terms of love, every time I would meditate on it, SP came to mind. Specifically, even though I was open to meeting anyone right for me. In my heart, I knew. Oh, sorry, where has it gone now? Tried to scroll down, and I think it scrolled down too fast. Scroll down too much. Yeah. So SP came to mind every time that she would meditate on love. Specifically, even though I was open to meeting anyone right for me. So she wasn't just stuck on the SP. She was always open to love. And I think that's as well, guys, that makes it so much easier if you're a bit more open with it. So in my heart, I knew that he loves me and that the third party won't last, but I can't be thinking about him right now. It's how I truly felt. But I still had days where I just lost it, and I couldn't understand how can two people love each other and not be together. I almost gave up on manifestation at all and on life. I remember telling my manifestation group, because I wanted them to hold me accountable, how I was feeling about living. But a small part of me was still in this and was still hopeful. I remember saying I should give myself a year to grieve, then I'll return to manifesting love. So I had already worked with Athena for a few sessions, and I had her recordings, and I was continuing to work on focusing on myself and not so much on a partner. A few months go by, and I woke up one day to a ton of notifications of him liking all of my content. But that's all it was. No messages from him. I got annoyed, and I remember when I told Athena about it, she wanted to celebrate it as movement, even though I was not seeing it as such. But it was movement, because this meant I was unblocked and the third party was gone. I just let it be, and I didn't try to reach out, thinking he should reach out to me. Then he sent me a song, and I responded to that, but his responses were short, so I stopped. I started to stress over this evasive behavior, but I persisted in my manifestation. I just kept bringing it back to me, feeling where I was at. Where in my body did I feel any tension? I was also, admittedly, very impatient. I had to learn to meditate to release it. Athena had given me tools and visualizations to release the tension from my body, and I used those as well. I continued to date other men, meanwhile, because I was open to all the possibilities of finding love. And let's be honest, it's because I was impatient and waiting rather than just being. Then, at about a year since we last spoke on the phone, SP called me and we talked for hours. He confirmed the third party was gone, but I already knew that. In fact, he had said a lot of things that I had assumed, and I remember just saying, I knew that. I thought it was the start of something new, but he disappeared again, and I don't see movement again for a few months when he started liking my stories again, maybe leaving short comments on them. Again, I did not reach out to him. I would find myself at times having to bring the attention back to me because my thoughts would get obsessive over him. I realized I was putting him on a pedestal, acting like him contacting me was such an important thing. He should be so lucky that I respond. I had to decide that I need to work on my grief more because that was bringing up more trauma that I didn't realize that I had. I kept focusing on me. I did this by watching my thoughts, and if they spiraled out of control, I would say to myself, bring it back to me, and just try to ground myself. If I still struggled to get grounded, I would look around and just start identifying things around me with most of my senses. What do I see, hear, smell, touch, taste? And I would name a couple of things for each. I would meditate regularly, or I'd go for walks, bringing me back to the moment. I even created a cheat sheet for myself that gave myself things to try depending on how I'm feeling. Am I feeling anxious? Write in my journal. Meditate, stretch, or clean. Am I overwhelmed? Okay, sit outside, walk, create a to-do list. I just became obsessed with myself and my healing. This is lovely, by the way, hon. You're practicing some very good mindfulness techniques. And for those of you who are not aware of mindfulness techniques, for keeping you grounded, especially the one that reduces anxiety, which is name 5 things you can see and 4 things that you can hear and various things like that. And you just work down 3 things you can touch and all of that business. And it's very, very good at grounding you and reducing anxiety. So it's really nice to see you utilizing that, hon. I remember when the online interaction stopped, and I found myself one day saying, sure, wouldn't mind proof of life from him. The next day, he was back to liking my content as if he heard my thoughts. That was fun, but I knew I didn't want to only get small interactions from him. I stayed in the end of my desired state of being in a healthy and happy relationship with my soulmate, and I would see us together, but simultaneously detaching from that outcome and focusing on me. Detachment was a hard one for me. I realized it didn't mean forgetting about him. It meant getting to a place of neutrality. Whatever happens, happens, and I will be fine regardless. To make it fun, I just kept on repeating to myself, I'm Switzerland. I like that. Going back to my yoga and meditation roots, I had to keep reminding myself to stay in the present moment. I practiced not reacting to the 3D with other situations in my life that had the potential to create stress. I succeeded in those scenarios, and that grew my confidence. One thing I discovered about myself in past relationships is that I didn't trust myself enough to leave. Even with jobs, I never quit. I never quit, always fired or laid off. I've always been broken up with. So I started to make decisions in dating that I would cut it off, even if it didn't serve me. 1 minute, that I would cut it off. Sorry, that I would cut it off if it didn't serve me, of course. I was blocking and telling people, thanks, but no thanks. I broke up with a friend with benefits when he wouldn't meet my needs. I was getting comfortable with saying no and calling out bad behavior. I was feeling like I was finally walking in my power, and it felt good, but I still felt something was off. I dug deeper and I found some more issues I had to resolve. My manifestation group chat was a huge help. I had many had worked with Athena, and we just supported each other through it all. I found my lingering issues, and with their support and my discipline, worked on those. A couple more missteps and learning from those, I was feeling like I'd finally arrived. I even said to my group chat, I've arrived. Shortly after my arrival, SP made contact. In fact, on the 1-year anniversary of my mother's passing, I wasn't sure at the moment if it would just be another passing call that I would get from him again before disappearing into the night. So I tried not to think too much about it and just be in the moment. I used it as validation that he does indeed think of me and loves me just as I believed that he did. I didn't think much more into it. I didn't even try to give it meaning. I know they say in law of assumption to give everything good meaning, but when I struggle with that, I just say it is what it is and not to think much more about it. It's my neutral state that I keep shifting to. I didn't hear again from him, and about 2 weeks later, whilst cleaning, I got the urge to call him. Now, I've gotten these urges before, but I always overcame them and reminded myself I do not chase, I attract. But this time I remembered what Athena had said numerous times, that sometimes if you feel like doing something, just do it. It felt right. not desperate, so I did it. He did not answer, so I left him a message. When I hung up, it felt good. I said, I did it. Now let it ride. I got back to cleaning and I didn't think much more about it. 2 days later, he returns my call, apologizing for not noticing it before. We talked for a while, like we were old friends. I decided this was it. It's not like before. He will not disappear. This has to be the bridge of incidents. He continued to call me each day after, even if we didn't always talk because I missed his call. But I did once assume that he'd call me every day, and he does. And now we're in a healthy, loving relationship. One thing I didn't mention earlier, I would have had a hard I would have had a hard time sometimes viewing him differently. I knew he was wounded from past trauma and I wondered if he would overcome it enough for us. Well, during those times that he went quiet, that's exactly what he was doing. He'd check in with me just to let me know that he's thinking of me. He said when he's not in a good mental space to call me. He would just like my stories to remind me that I'm still on his mind. He wanted to do the work. He wanted to he wanted to do the work to be with me, and he did. He's different now, in that he's more confident and secure about us than before. No one can come between us, even if they flew a high-powered jet at us. Another thing, I don't know if I accidentally manifested in okay. So another thing, I don't know if I accidentally manifested him in 2 years because back when I thought I could manifest love in 30 days and it didn't happen, I wanted to let go of the idea of time. But then I accidentally let the idea get in my head that it could take 2 years. And that 2 years remained in my subconscious. I'd see it there and I didn't address it. I just ignored it. Don't ignore your thoughts. Give them awareness. Ask them where they are coming from. Work through them and then release them. I know thoughts alone don't manifest, but sometimes they're indicative of a deep-seated belief. You don't have to entertain every little thought you get, but don't just pretend it's not there. Even as simple as dismissing with, nah, that's not true, sometimes works. But if it keeps coming back, try to understand why. I had done that with my 2 years. I'd realized I believed good relationships take time, that nothing happens fast. So maybe it all played out based on my beliefs of good things taking time, and my mind decided that it would be 2 years. I think you're right there, darling. Another thought I have for why it took 2 years is because I believed we both needed to heal first. I remember when he returned to me the first time, I told him I would only accept a healed version of him. I also had a lot of work to do, and I believed I should do it before I got into a relationship. So perhaps those beliefs prevented anything more until I came to the realization that I was ready or overcame my fear. So we became official, and you'd think that's it, that's the end of the happy story. Nope, the work never ends. I got my first trigger a week in. He went quiet for a few days and not responding to me. I did start to lose it, and I found myself saying that I felt abandoned. So I worked on that wound, relaxing, meditating, going for a walk. Then I got back into the state of he loves me and he would never leave me. He's just busy, and he's probably going through a lot. I bet he's not calling anyone. I imagined him calling me and apologizing, and that's exactly what happened. And I was right. He was busy, and he was going through a lot, and ignoring everyone. I did then explain to him that he needs to give me a heads up, that he needs space, so that I know that nothing is wrong. So now I'm resting in the state that we have open communication no matter what's going on. As for my health, I used to injure myself at the gym that had me out for weeks or months. I started to affirm that I have perfect form when performing my exercises, and I always listen to my body. No injuries in over a year. When the doctor found 2 lumps in my breast, they were concerned and ordered for more tests, but I was not worried at all. Annoyed, actually, that I had to pay for more tests when I said, no, they are benign. It's fine. But you know science. They need the proof. So I went through the process, and of course, it was all fine. I'll manifest they shrink now for the next ultrasound, and they can leave me alone ordering tests. They can leave me alone ordering tests. Money continues to flow to me, but so does other ways of getting free stuff. This one really required me to dig deep and to find those limiting beliefs, like how we must earn our money. I'll have another success story soon for this as well. My boyfriend and I are actually both manifestors, and we're combining powers for this. I'm excited. This is great. As for techniques I used, I'll share, but keep in mind it's not about the technique. The key really is embodying that end state, and I use the technique to get me back into the state. I used affirmations when trying to ground myself. I loved them in songs. I created a playlist of songs with affirmations I liked, and I would go for walks and listen to it, vibe with it, and just get myself into that state of peace that all is as it should be. I did not obsess over affirmations. I said them as I needed them and only long enough to shift my thinking. I used them to hype myself up, and I stuck to general ones, like everything always works out for me. I only used robotic affirmations when I was fearing for my safety, and I used it like a mantra to keep my mind from going crazy when there was turbulence on on an airplane. I kept repeating, I am safe, I am safe. Mirror work. When I first started out, this was crucial for me to break the barrier of loving myself, because I couldn't even look at myself. I would look at myself in the mirror each morning and night, and I would tell myself I loved me, I was beautiful, and I deserved to be loved. It was hard at first, and I cried. I couldn't finish. But I persisted, and I actually felt the love, and I didn't need to keep doing the mirror work after a while. Now I can look at myself in the eye, and I can say anything, and I believe me. Hypnosis and self-hypnosis, mostly from Athena, but also did a session with a friend who was starting out and offering her friends a session to practice. Coincidentally, she is also a client of Athena's, and she raved about the hypnosis, so that's why I sought her out. The self-hypnosis came from the recordings following my hypnosis sessions, plus recordings Athena releases on her YouTube channels. I tried sats and imaginal acts as well, but mostly I just let the visions come to me, and I'd feel as if they were real and I was just recalling a memory. I tried not to stay too long in them because I had a tendency to become obsessive and lose focus over everything else. So I'd see the scene, feel it, enjoy it, and move on. I tried scripting, but I couldn't stay with it. I did make that list of qualities of my ideal man, which was easier for me. Gratitude. I went to sleep feeling grateful for my life, and I woke up every morning giving thanks to something in my life or my manifestation. This just became a normal habit that blended in well with my already established years long habits of gratitude every night. Other things that helped: I put myself first. If I didn't feel loved, I loved on myself. If I felt stressed, I asked me, what do I need? And I'd give myself that. Having my manifestation group chat having my manifestation group chat is another thing that helped her. So we really hyped each other up, but this can also come from any community that you vibe with. Digital detox as a way to help your mental diet. I would go through days where I limited my online time to avoid unhealthy thoughts. I consistently have talks with myself. If I start getting worked up over something, I see me talking with either little me, teenage me, or another version of adult me and giving myself what I needed. Sometimes I'd check in with the future me and I'd see her living our ideal life and reminding present me that it's all going to work out, don't worry. Whenever I accidentally manifest something I didn't actually want because of my negative beliefs, I don't get upset with myself for doing it. I instead congratulate myself and usher that belief to the positive side. For example, I had a meeting to attend and I kept saying how they all hate me and I can expect that they will give me a hard time at the meeting, but I don't care. And no surprise, they were mean to me. When I realized I manifested that, I tell myself, congratulations, you manifested that. Now, what's the way out? Sorry, now that's way out of the, oh my goodness, I can't even talk. Now that that's out of the way, sorry, they won't be mad anymore. Everything is good. They all respect you. Next time I attended, I noticed a lot more respect. Oh, this is important. Understanding that this community is filled with a lot of people with their own interpretations and beliefs about what the law is. Find coaches you vibe with. It should feel good to listen to them. When you find them, subscribe to their channels. You don't have to agree 100%. In fact, you should still question, but the information should feel good to you because if it doesn't, it won't work for you. For example, Athena doesn't promote affirmations. That is true. But they work for me. Others hate them. Again, it's never about the technique anyway, but some techniques just work for some and not for others. By the way, I don't mind affirmations that are generic. That's fine, and that's what you did, hun, which was really good as well. So find some people like I know which coach you're talking about when you say that. Some people like a coach who yells at them and calls them an idiot, and others prefer the gentle yet tough love of others. So find one who fits your personality and study their content. Therapy. I had a lot of trauma that I needed a professional to help me work through. It complemented my manifestation work with coaches. Also important, I was never mad at SP. If I truly believed in an end state of being in a happy, healthy relationship with my soulmate, and that's him, then I wouldn't be mad at him. So our phone calls were just picking up where we left off, and I never brought up the past again, only focusing on the present moment. This didn't mean that I ignored any issues. If I needed to address something, I did. We discussed it and then we moved on, but we left the past in the past, only to bring up things that we wanted to laugh or relive the happy moments. I don't really have a daily routine other than my self-care routine. I did live and breathe embodying the state of the wish fulfilled, and I continue to do so in order to avoid sliding back into the old story. Some things become habit and it's natural. Other things I still have to work at. I don't do well with routine. I like things to be simple, so I simplified them. All I do now is bring my awareness back to me and my body to the present moment at minimum. And if I'm feeling good, I allow thoughts of my end state to fill me with more joy. Otherwise, I stay in the present moment with gratitude, regardless of circumstances. I still find my thoughts trying to create anxiety, so the work isn't over yet. After all, I've always had my man, money, my good health, so nothing is different other than the 3D now reflects that fact. So I continue to do the work to heal, focus on me, and find peace in the moment. And that's where it ended. So what did you guys think of that incredible success story? First of all, thank you so much, darling, for taking the time to go through that. You shared some incredible things, some very personal, heartfelt things as well. You know, that wasn't easy. And I know that you said that you would make yourself known too, which I think is another very brave thing, because I know a lot of people who share their success stories like to keep their privacy. SP stories, I don't know, we think we're going to get caught or something, but you see, hun, your SP happens to be a manifestor as well, which is incredible. I didn't actually know that. I don't remember us discussing that in our sessions back before, but it's really nice when you couple up with someone who you can also share in this spiritual stuff, or you can also share manifesting with. Manifest together, couple goals. That's what Joseph and I have been doing, and it makes such a huge difference to have that support. Also, just want to say hello to the Banana Gang. I know you guys, I know you don't call yourself the Banana Gang anymore. This is the community that they had on TikTok that they got together, grouped together, and I had the privilege of coaching with some of them, and they are beautiful, beautiful people, and it's lovely that they have that community. I am, as you know, considering creating a little chat or a Discord or something. We were talking about it today, so that you guys can come and commune together. So we've got more than just the YouTube or the TikTok. I know I always chat to you in the comments, and we've got our live sessions now as well that we can all chat together, but we need a little place to all come and congregate, because stories like this can be very inspiring. Her journey was turbulent. How many times did SP come in and out, and she was getting all this breadcrumbing? How many times have you been through something like that? I know a lot of you are going through very similar circumstances, and she went into so much depth about what she did as well, which again, thank you so much, hon, because that's truly valuable, because like I say, everyone is different, and we will have our different methods to keeping that wish fulfilled, which, by the way, You're not going to stay in one state continuously. It doesn't need to be hard work and effort either. And you don't need to heal to have your ideal relationships. Don't put conditions in the way of your desires, guys. It's not necessary to be healed and all the rest of it. But you see, if you do what she did, which is have that, okay, being open to love in general, being open to that ideal relationship, then what it means is that you're not tethered down to what you think your SP can give you, what you think SP is capable of based on your preconceptions, based on your past relationship. You just go for all, accepting love all round. It releases a lot of resistance, and that way SP can come in much easier. So I really hope that this helped you guys out. And again, when she comments, I will pin her comment to the bottom of this video so you can all, I don't know, share your thoughts and congratulations. Congratulations to you, sweetheart. Again, love you loads. Love all of you. Thank you so much for joining me. Go and enjoy your weekend, and I'll catch you on Tuesday. Sending you love.